Thank you for coming today. My name is Jin. I'm a macrobiotic holistic health counselor and also cooking instructor and a private chef. So today I'm going to make two dishes like he introduced. One is the vegan corn soup because corn is in season now. Something very easy. And also the other one is a soba noodle seaweed salad. And then before I actually start cooking, I want to talk a little bit about macrobiotics. Is anybody familiar with macrobiotics? Okay. So the rest is a new thing. Okay, great. So many people misunderstand that macrobiotic is a macrobiotic diet, eating grains and vegetables and all that stuff. But macrobiotic is not just a diet, it's natural holistic approach to life. Natural holistic approach to life. And macrobiotics, the word macrobiotics originally comes from Greek word, ancient Greek word. Macro means big and large, or great, and bio means life. So the goal of macrobiotics is to learn how to achieve a great life, happy life, healthy life, wonderful, fabulous life, or live your life to the fullest. It's about living in balance, living in harmony, harmony with natural order. So, and you can apply this principle to every aspect of your life, any aspect of your life, including everyday eating or diet. So, and here comes macrobiotic diet. And macrobiotic diet particularly emphasizes on eating whole, natural, plant-based food. Sorry, just anyway, whole, natural, plant-based food in harmony with seasonal cycle and local environment. And particularly this macrobiotic way of eating focuses on whole grains and vegetables and supplemented by a wide variety of food. Anyway, that's the basic idea of macrobiotics. But also another aspect of macrobiotics is that the macrobiotics sees food not just from nutritional point of view, but also energetic point of view. And then some people eat macrobiotic as a healing diet to improve their health or help recover from some health conditions based on the idea that the food is medicine. But anyway, so that's the basic idea. If you want to know more about it, maybe you can ask me or you can go to my website. Okay, so today I'm going to make two dishes, very easy to make, and then you can actually implement at your home. Simple and easy and then healthy based on the macrobiotic principle. Okay, so let's get started. Okay. So the first one, corn. So it's high in season now. When you go to farmer's market, there are lots of corns and very inexpensive and very fresh and very sweet. So in the East, corn has been eaten traditionally to nourish your heart or strengthen your blood, or strengthen or activate your energy inside your body. But again, just very simple and sweet and delicious, something to make it. But in a macrobiotic way or vegan way, I'm not going to use any cream or milk or dairy or anything like that. I'm going to use just corns and a little bit onion, and that's all. So let's see how it goes. And then also during the session, probably I'll ask somebody to come and then help. So please be volunteer. Okay, so the first, just cut off the kernel, right? Cut off the kernel from the cob. So just cut the bottom so that they can be stable, like this, right? And then, it's gonna be fly over. So like this. Don't worry, I'm not going to ask you to do this. It's a little dangerous, but well, you know how to do this, right? It's very easy. This way you can cut off. And then again, the other side, cut off so that they can be stable. And then remove the kernel. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. Okay.
What kind of knife is that?
Good question. What kind of knife is this? Well, it said NHS. It's very. It probably costs about $70-$80, but it's very useful and efficient. Very sharp at the same time, very safe, right? Because I'm not very sophisticated chef. I'm not too clumsy, so it's perfect for me. Well, anyway, so even if you are doing this, you don't cut or penetrate somebody else. It's very safe. So I always use this. And also you can use it like this and then put in your. Okay, so just to yield 4 to 6 cups of soup, I'm going to use 4 cups of corn. I already did some of it. But I'm going to cut off cut off the kernel from the 2 corns, and then the other 2 what I'm going to do is grate. So that's where I want somebody to help me. So how we're going to do is, so first I'm going to cut in half, and then anybody can see? Oh, okay, great. So what you're going to do is like this, right? So grate. And then this kind of creamy things comes out, right? This is going to be the creamy part of the soup. Instead of using milk or even non-dairy milk like a soy milk.
What is it? Plate?
This one?
Uh-huh.
This is a ceramic grater to grate.
It's nice.
But yeah, this is you can get at the Asian food store or something, Asian grocery store or Chinatown. But also, I think even Williams Sonoma and those places sell it, or Bed Bath and Beyond. It's inexpensive. Sure. Thank you.
Should I do it here?
Or
Same. What's your name?
What's your name?
Oh, you are?
Yav. Yeah. Thank you. Great. So while he's doing that, I'm going to dice the onions. So if any questions, please feel free. It's interesting, right?
Yeah.
Well, of course, you can use some non-dairy milk. Again, like soy milk or almond milk, hemp milk, all that stuff. But I try to use whole foods as much as possible, as opposed to processed food. Even though soy milk is probably healthier than dairy milk, like cow's milk. But still, soy milk is highly processed. So I use it sometimes when I make like a dessert or something, but try to use whole food as much as possible. That's my idea.
Chef Jin, is this what you want to achieve, this consistency?
Yes.
And do you use anytime, sometimes stainless steel graters? Or?
Yes, you can use that, but somehow this one makes it creamier. Yeah, so that's why I use this. But yes, you can use any grater you have. So while he's doing that, I'm going to dice the onion. Is that okay? If you get tired, let me know. Probably
sure.
And somebody else wants to do that too.
Where should I pour it into?
Oh, sure. Just everything in here. Yeah. Thank you.
Should we turn it off? Thomas, turn it off.
Great. Okay, so after him, anybody who wants to do that, please come.
What kind of onion are you using? Is it a medallion?
What kind of onion is this? This is candied onion, but any onion is fine. Candied onion makes the soup sweeter, of course, and you can use yellow onion or red onion. Red onion can be also sweet too, so it depends on your taste. And this soup is supposed to be very sweet, a very sweet taste. And again, in the East, sweet taste nourishes your digestive system, especially pancreas. So when people come to me for health counseling, and then they have like a diabetes or low hypoglycemia and stuff like that, I would suggest, okay, so have some naturally sweet tasting foods such as corn or squash, onions, carrots, cabbage, all that stuff. And that really helps calm down your craving for sweet taste, like a white sugar and stuff like that. Anyway, so food is medicine. Food is medicine. Thank you.
Sure.
Oh my God, you did 2 already? Wow, that's amazing. Thank you. Wow. Well, actually, there's half more. If anybody wants to do this?
Please, go, please.
Yeah, feel free. You? Ah, yes, yeah, thank you.
Okay.
So, here you go.
See how this works.
Mm. Ah, sorry, what's your name?
Abby.
Abby. Yay! Okay,
How
so
much would this cost to purchase all the ingredients to make the soup?
good question. Corn, I got 2 for 1, right? So for $2. Oh my God, so
That's a good price.
yeah, inexpensive and fresh. And then onion, I get per pound. I think 150 per pound at the Union Square Farmers Market. And then I think it was probably for $2 or something like that, or maybe even less. 2 for 150 or something like that, right? And then what else? Other seasonings, right? So basically $5, less than $5. Okay. That's a good question. Okay, so I'm gonna dice the onions, right? Okay. So something like this. So it's easy to. So the corn in the East, again, is considered to nourish your heart. And then also this Eastern philosophy or from macrobiotic point of view, each season is associated with different organs. And then the summer, with the energy of the heat, like fire, is associated with your heart. Because the heart generates the heat. So the heat that generated by the heart resonates with the heat in the air in the summer. That's why they resonate each other. But at the same time, because both are generating heat, so heart in the summer can be overwhelmed, overheated. That's why in the summer you have to pay extra attention, or you should pay attention and also care for your heart. And then what you can do to take care of your heart is, because heart is producing heat, right? So have foods that has a natural cooling effect, which is summer produce, right? Think about the tomatoes, cucumbers, lettuce, watermelon, all that stuff. They all have cooling effect, right? Natural cooling effect. And including corn. So that helps cool down your overheated heart.
Is it the water or the sugar?
Exactly, water. Water, potassium. That's the cooling effect. So I want to talk more about the heart, so maybe later, because the heart is such an interesting organ. Anyway, so thank you. How is it?
I think
Is it good?
yeah.
Beautiful.
Good for the arm.
Good for you. Yes, exercise. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, side. Thank you. Great. Yay, thank you so much. Okay, so finally, I think ingredients are ready. So I'm going to cook. Some heat up. Thank you. Thank you so much. Again. Okay. So, I'm sorry, I was going to give you the towel. Are you okay with the hand? Okay, thank you. So, and from here, it's very, very easy to make. You just, saute onion and then add some water, heat up, and then season with some seasoning, and that's it. Super simple and super easy. And good for your heart, good for your pancreas, and then activate the energy and the blood flow. So it's a very healthy, comforting summer dish. Okay. Any questions? Go ahead.
How tasty would it be without the onions? Because there's some people don't eat onions. Can't digest onions. They just don't do good for them. They can do garlic, but they can't do onion biscuits. So that's for me. So how tasty would it be without the onions?
Well, without onion is fine. So like I said, probably you can use other sweet tasting vegetables, for example, cabbage or onion. But even without, again, like a squash, winter squash and stuff like that. Those sweet vegetables would be great. So when you say that you cannot, or some people cannot digest the onion, is that raw or even cooked? Like
Cook.
cook.
Cook or raw.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, some people have some digestive problem, gluten intolerance and all that stuff. So you have to be careful. But at the same time, what I usually suggest, of course, you stay away from those food. But the underlying cause would be that your digestive system over time is weakened. So what you can do is from now, gradually, you can improve and strengthen your digestive system. What makes your digestive system weak is that the so-called modern diet. Meat, sugar, dairy, all those foods makes your screw up your intestinal flora, right? And your body cannot absorb or digest or assimilate nutrients. So cut down on those foods and then start eating more fiber-rich food like whole grains and vegetables. And that way, people can reverse the condition. So it used to be gluten intolerance, but now after eating, very healthy way, I can eat bread, something like that. But thank you for pointing out. Yes, that's important. So food allergy and then intolerance. Any other questions?
What did you put, like oil?
Yes, olive oil.
Okay.
Any vegetable oil. So I'm going to saute. It's gonna be and with a pinch of sea salt. I always use sea salt because sea salt has lots of minerals and then trace minerals, which are all important to our body to function. While table salt, or commonly used salt, is highly refined, 90-95% sodium, and then the rest are additives and even sugar is added. So it's really, really hard on your system. So it's a good idea. If you're using table salt, maybe just switch to sea salt.
The sea salt has iodine in it.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And
Natural iodine.
iodine that's different.
Right. Yeah, sea salt has iodine. Okay. Smells good. Right? So just saute until it becomes clear, maybe 5 minutes or 8 minutes. Any other questions or comments? Everybody likes corn? Have you had corns this year already? Good. Now corn is such a nice snack, right? Hi.
What about the corn they sell in a can? Like, is that good or is it oversweetened? Is that too processed?
Depends on, thank you for your question. Did you hear that? Okay, so how about the canned corn or frozen corn, that kind of thing, right? Well, what I would do is to check the label and then see what's the ingredients, and then if it's just a corn, maybe that's fine, right? Especially corn is only available during the summer, and if you want to eat corn in the winter, yes, I sometimes use the organic frozen corn too, to make something. Yes. So I just pay attention to the ingredients or labels. But the canned one, usually they use some kind of toxic chemicals for canning process, right? So that I would be a little cautious. Okay, now it's almost cooked, a little burning. So what I'm going to do is, sorry, where's the, okay, about 4 cups to 5 cups of water. And then for the stock, I'm not going to use beef stock or chicken stock or something like that. Instead, first, I'm going to use the corn, the one that you grate or cut off the cups, because it releases a nice sweet flavor. So I'm going to use this. Yeah. See, lots of juice.
It's good for the hand too. No?
Yeah, good for the hand, and then also you're not going to waste anything. Another thing about macrobiotic is that they use, well, first we see, macrobiotic sees food as a whole, or sees everything as a whole, right? Nothing is separated. Everything makes sense as a whole. So try to use as much as possible, every part, skin, and then tops, greens, and then roots, and all that stuff, as much as possible, to take in energy from each food as a whole, holistic approach. So for that reason, try to get organic food as much as possible, because all the pesticides and the chemicals and all that stuff you don't want to take into your body. Okay, so, and then one more thing to add to the soup is a seaweed called kombu. Have you ever heard of kombu?
Yeah.
Kombu is kind of like this, seaweed.
Where did you find it?
Health food store or Asian grocery store. And then it acts or works as a flavor enhancer. And then the substance is called glutamic acid or umami. Have you ever heard of umami? It's one of the taste, flavor. So it enhances the flavor. So in macrobiotic cooking or Japanese cuisine, this is a very typical food for stock or base, soup base. So I'm gonna add this one.
So you just put it in right out of the packet, you can just break it off and put it in?
Yes.
You don't need to wash it first, right?
Right. You can wash, and I actually rinsed a little bit.
You did?
Yeah. But then you can just put it in there.
Okay.
Right. And another thing about seaweed is that they have an amazing nutritional value. The seaweed is loaded, seaweeds in general are loaded with nutrients, and they have more vitamins, minerals, and fiber than any other land vegetables. For example, there's one type of seaweed called hijiki. Do you want to pass around? It's kind of like a curly black hair. So this hijiki seaweed contains 14 times more calcium than cow's milk. So most of the Asian countries or the rest of the world, they don't take or they don't eat dairy food, right, traditionally. And then people ask, how do you get the calcium? Well, we get calcium from first vegetables. Like dark leafy green vegetables have lots of calcium. And then seaweed too. Seaweed is such an amazing superfood. And then again, this hijiki seaweed contains 14 times more calcium than milk.
And this is the same, you found it in a health store?
Mm-hmm. Health food store called hijiki. And then, so all the vegetable vitamins and minerals and fibers rich. And then also the recent studies have shown that seaweed help eliminate the toxins from the body. For example, heavy metal like mercury or even radiation. Certain substance in seaweed bind all the toxins inside the body and eliminate from the system. So after Chernobyl accident in Russia, lots of European people rush to the grocery store, Asian grocery store, health food store, and get the seaweed to fight or protect against the radiation sickness. And of course in Japan, after the last year's nuclear accident, people started to appreciate, thank you, our traditional food, which is seaweed. So anyway, seaweed is such an amazing.
It's expensive?
If you buy it, it could be. So I usually go get at the Japanese grocery store, and which is somehow less expensive. If you go to Whole Foods, it could be a little expensive.
Where is it in Japan? 142nd?
Well, no, East Village. You can Google Japanese grocery store in New York City. Yeah, there are some East Village and Soho, and then East Side. Your question?
What's how much you can eat at one time?
Oh, very good question. Thank you so much. Well, again, the nutrition in seaweed is so concentrated. You get, again, like 14 times calcium and stuff like that. So you don't have to eat a lot, maybe just a tiny bit. But maybe every day would help a lot. So you don't have to cook special dishes. You can just put into soup to make it more flavorful. Or cook with grains, cook with beans, which makes the beans and grains more digestible. Some people have like a bloating after eating grains and beans, right? But this, cooking with kombu helps.
And with the meat? I know you don't eat meat, but with the meat?
With the meat, yeah. Mm.
So does it have fiber content too? There's fiber?
Yes, fiber. Lots of fiber, yes. Thank you for the question. Any other questions? I think it started to, sure.
Could you spell the hijiki?
Hijiki? Yes, Hijiki. So now it's boiling, so I'm going to remove the cob. And then, So by the way, speaking of hijiki, when I was a kid, my mother used to say, eat more hijiki so that you can grow a lot of very thick and black and nice hair. You know? Because it contains lots of minerals and then that helps to grow your hair. But I said, no, Mom, I don't want thick and black hair. I want a curly and nice and then brown or blonde hair, right? But turned out it was a very, very healthy food, and also now I have a really thick and nice hair, and then I don't have to worry about my hair, at least for a while, thanks to the hijiki or my mother's warning. Anyway, so I remove the carbs, so I'm going to add this kernels and then also the cream. Oh, she wants to have soup too, or corn. Oh, really eating corn.
Yeah, that's
Okay. Healthy cat, right? Okay, just a pinch of salt, and then continue to cook maybe for a few more minutes, and then add some seasoning and done. So very simple, right? I didn't do anything much, except the two people just grated.
So did you put the seed already or no?
A seed? Still in it, just to add more flavor. And after, you can eat it too. It doesn't have much taste, kind of meaty texture. I usually eat. Yes?
Then you made a comment about the cat having corn just now. What about animals eating corn?
Good question. Thank you for your question.
If you have an answer, I mean, I know it's
I do,
so much.
a lot.
Two different things. Okay.
Yes, well, that's a very good question. I always talk about the human food. So when, for example, the scientists determine each animal's diet, and the first thing they look at, what do you think? First thing they look at to determine their diet, each animal's diet.
Mice.
The digestive?
Digestive one thing, yes. Teeth, exactly, thank you. Teeth, the structure of the teeth, right? And then when you look at our own teeth, we have about 32 on average. I have 28 because I removed the wisdom teeth. About 28 to 32, right? And out of 32, 20 are molars or premolars, which are designed to grind grains. About 60% of our teeth are designed to grind grains. And then 8 of them are called incisors. And then they're designed to cut and then shred the vegetables. And then only 4 are canine, right? Only less than 10%. 4 are canine. That are designed to tear the meat or animal food, including fish. So we are supposed to eat whole grains or grains as a main food or principal food, and then vegetables, and we don't need to eat meat a lot. So that's how we're supposed to eat. But of course, nowadays modern diet is completely opposite. 80% meat, and then there's like a sorry tiny bit of vegetables and grains. Is like, where are you, right? That kind of thing. So when you look at the cat, probably I haven't seen that, but probably lots of canines. So I don't know, maybe not the best food for them, but they may have some molars too. So in that case, maybe just a small portion of grain would be great. I think that's my answer. Is that okay? Great, thank you. Okay, so I think it's done. And turn off. And then as a seasoning, what I'm going to use is called miso. Have you ever heard of miso? Miso soup?
Love miso.
Huh?
I love miso.
Oh, you really?
It's delicious.
Yes, thank you. Yes, yeah, miso. Smells good. This is fermented soybean, right? And made from soybeans, sea salt, and some kind of bacteria to ferment. And then also usually combined with other grains. And this one is brown rice miso, so soybean and brown rice. And a great source of amino acids because soybean is very high in protein, right? Amino acids. And then the cat is here. And then lots of vitamins and minerals, of course. And numerous studies have shown that eating miso lower the risk of heart diseases and diabetes and cancers too. And then like seaweed, miso has an ability to eliminate the toxin from the body. And also relieve the side effect of chemotherapy, radiation therapy, and other conventional therapy too. according to some studies, because they eliminate the toxins.
Do you have a miso that you prefer more? The three kinds of misos, like red, brown, white. Do you prefer one for its taste or qualities upon the other?
That tells me that you are an expert. You really using miso, right? Not so many people know that there are different kinds of miso. Thank you. So you like really miso?
Yeah, and I asked you, do you have?
Yeah. Preference, right?
Yeah.
Good question. Yes. So first, how to decide? Well, usually I get 3 or 4 different kinds, depends on the taste. So the darker the color, that means that the aged more. The longer it's aged, and then more medicinal effect, right? Because lots of living bacteria in it. So in fact, this miso is still alive, like billions of bacteria is in it. Okay. And then also the darker, the stronger taste. So if you like the stronger taste, yes, that use. And also if you're catching a cold, or if you're recovering from illnesses, I would use darker miso. And then lighter one is shorter. The shorter it's fermented or aged, and also lighter flavor. And then the whitest miso would be sweetest. Does that answer the question?
Yes. We also sometimes add miso to pesto sauce.
Pesto sauce.
Yes.
Wow, how was it?
Instead of cheese.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic. You should do the cooking demo here too. Right? That sounds great. Wow. Yeah. Yes, miso is such a versatile seasoning. You can use for miso soup, soup of course, and also, like he said, some sauce, right? And you can even cook with meat, or if you eat meat. And then also dressing too. Yeah, it can be very, very versatile. Actually, I made, what did I make? Well, what is the ratatouille? No.
Ratatouille.
Ratatouille, yes, ratatouille. Oh, French person. Yes, oh my god, maybe I shouldn't say anything. But I made ratatouille with miso, and which turns out really good. Yeah, so you can try. Anyway, so I'm gonna use, because this is a sweet soup, so I'm gonna use the sweet miso, about 1 year aged, one year fermented, and the brown rice, soybean brown rice. And then again, because miso is still alive, so you don't want to boil to kill the bacteria. So turn off the heat and then add the miso. Okay? And after you add the miso, don't boil. If you want to heat up, just simmer, and then avoid the boil. Okay. So it's supposed to be very sweet, so I'm not gonna add much seasoning, because I like the sweet soup, and then the sweetness helps or nourishes your pancreas. Okay, so let me taste and see if it's okay. Okay. Perfect, I think.
It's good to know.
Okay, so the soup is done. Okay.
I'm wondering how much sodium is in there from the ingredients that you included.
Right. Well, it doesn't have much sodium compared to the conventional cooking. I don't use much salt usually. And then also the good thing about the sea salt and also this miso and also soy sauce, naturally brewed, is that again it has lots of minerals, right? So when you eat whole foods, all the chemicals and then minerals and vitamins work each other, harmonize each other. So if you are taking sodium, too much sodium, the other component or chemical helps eliminate or harmonize the amount of sodium you're taking. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like you're taking sodium like going down and then sodium act as one. You're taking in other chemicals too, or minerals too. So that way you can make a balance. So what I'm saying is that, for example, many people are taking supplements, right? And that's a completely separated form of nutrients. So that I sometimes doubt if it really works. For some people, yes, if you're really deficiency of certain kind of minerals or vitamins, yes, you may have to take. But if you keep taking it for a long period of time, your body doesn't work like that. You have to take all the different kinds of things, minerals and vitamins from whole foods, and that way it really works and balances out. So to your question, yes, miso itself has lots of sodium, but I don't use a lot, right? Just a tiny bit. So unless you have a hyper heart problem or something, you may not have to worry about that. But it's important to watch how much sodium you take anyway. So thank you for your question. Okay. So it's done. The next one is the Soba noodle seaweed salad. You're familiar with soba or buckwheat? Buckwheat. Buckwheat is a staple grain in Russia or Eastern Europe or northern part of Asia. So this is the whole form or grain form of soba or buckwheat. I think it's also known as kasha or something, right? Pass around. But in Japan, this noodle form is more common, right? Like a pasta. So I'm going to use this one. So soba is also high in, or particularly high in protein for some reason. Among other grains, soba or buckwheat is very high in protein. So it's a good source of protein and amino acids, and also vitamins and minerals and fibers. And then also a substance called rutin, it helps lower your blood pressure level. So it's good for your heart. Okay, so this one is even easier. First I'm going to make the dressing. In dressing, again, I already cooked a little bit. Some water, and then the seaweed kombu as a stock. And I also add this dried shiitake mushroom. And then I cook together. So this is the base stock. Thank you. And then I'm going to add some soy sauce. You familiar with soy sauce? Mm-hmm. Okay. Soy sauce again is made with soybeans, sea salt, and wheat, right? Usually wheat, and then fermented and aged from 6 months to about 2 to 3 years. Like miso, it has a good source of amino acids, vitamin, minerals, and then also strengthen your blood.
There are so many soy sauces out there. Is there a quality we should be looking for?
Yes, thank you for your question. So the quality of the soy sauce, how to choose the right kind of soy sauce, yes. So I'm gonna pass this around. So it's supposed to be the ingredients, always look at the label and then ingredients. Supposed to be, like I said, soybeans, sea salt, not just salt, sea salt, and then wheat, and then some bacteria called koji. And then sometimes it adds some alcohol to preserve, and that's all. And they have to be aged or fermented. So it says naturally brewed, right? So that's a good sign. Naturally brewed or traditionally brewed. And then most of the commercial soy sauce, such as kikkoman and stuff like that, they're mass produced and then not aged or not fermented, lots of additives. It's like a fake soy sauce, and it's even harmful to your body. So I always look for naturally brewed or traditionally brewed. Thank you.
Is all that information on your website?
No, but I think in your recipe today, I think it's written somewhere, I think. But yeah, if you have any other question, please let me know by email, and I'll send back the information. But that's a good idea. Maybe I should add to my website. Thank you.
What is the website?
I think it's written in, you can find it. Oh, hi. www. What is it? Oh, wholelifewithjin.com. Oh, this one, the last ingredient for the dressing is called mirin, which is a sweet rice cooking sake. So it's kind of like rice. I mean the one. Huh?
What happens if you drink it while you're cooking?
Do you wanna try? It's very sweet.
Very sweet.
Yeah, and if you like sake, you may like it. Okay, so that's the base, right? And then the rest, I'm gonna just cut the vegetables very quick. Maybe all of them are from farmer's market. celery, carrots, cucumber, radish, right? All the summer produce, good for your heart and good for the season. Okay. Plus celery. So just slice like this, diagonally, or whatever you want. Okay. So you can see that, like somebody said, summer produce contains lots of water, right, and potassium. That makes you cool down or cools you down naturally. So I'm going to put them in a bowl. So you can use any kind of vegetables available. Okay. And then cucumber, slice, thin. Right. And then you can use like this, but or you can even make it smaller. It's called a matchstick cutting. So just slice first, thin, and then on top of each other, and then cut into a shape like a matchstick, right? Something like this. So there are many different ways of cutting, and depends on how you cut. Sometimes it tastes different too. Okay. So if any questions, please let me know. I think it's time to ask somebody to come up and then help me. So the next one is very easy. Oh, thank you. What's your name?
James.
James. Yay! So would you peel something like this? I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Are you okay?
Yeah,
Did I
yeah,
cut
no,
you?
no, go ahead.
Like this. Got it. Mm. And then the next one is called, do you know what this is?
Daikon.
Oh, wow. Yes, daikon. D-A-I-K-O-N. Daikon. It's a radish, kind of a radish. It's more like a root fish of long-shaped radish. Tastes like radish too. But the great thing about daikon radish is that it has a lot of health benefit and medicinal effect too. Especially it helps digest other foods, carbohydrates, especially fat. So have you ever been to Japanese restaurant? And then have you ever had tempura? Right, and tempura comes with dipping sauce, right? And in the dipping sauce, there is grated daikon, yes. The reason is that because daikon helps dissolve the fat.
Oh,
That's
the
why,
frying?
yeah, from frying, deep frying. So that's why dipping sauce of tempura has this grated daikon. So again, for example, when people come to me for counseling, some accumulated fat or tumor, even tumor, or just a weight loss, I would suggest as a home remedy for 1 week or 10 days, just grate daikon and eat 1 tablespoon for 10 days and see how it goes. And then usually start to dissolve the fat. So it's a great food for diet too.
You eat raw like this?
Yes, you can eat raw like a radish. Yeah, the same way. But also you can cook too. And when it's cooked, it becomes very, very sweet. When it's raw, it's kind of like a horseradish. It's really bitter or pungent, that kind of. Thank you.
Done?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yay, thank you so much. Beautiful, beautiful, like a red ribbon,
Wonderful.
right? Thank you. So anyway, daikon is such a great food. So I'm gonna do the same. See, I'm using the skin too, right? Skin is good for your skin, actually. Lots of fibers, minerals. Because skin condition usually reflects the condition inside, especially your intestine and colon. Sorry, I'm from Japan and my English is not very good. Anyway, so when you have skin problem, usually something going on in your stomach or gut. So, but the eating fiber-rich food, clears up and then it helps improve the condition of intestinal flora, and then which helps clear up your skin too. So when you have a problem with your skin, always eat something with fiber. And that includes the skin of each vegetable, especially root vegetables. Okay, so something like this. What else? What else do we need? That's all? Yeah, that's all. Okay. So celery, cucumber, carrot, and daikon. And then what I'm going to do, you can use like this, but I'm gonna add just a tiny pinch of sea salt. And then massage like this. What it does is that the sodium or salt helps digestion, activate your digestive system. So sometimes raw food could be hard on your stomach, right? It's not very digestible. Some people have problem. But by doing this, massaging with sea salt, and after that I'm gonna squeeze out excess water, and that makes it more digestible. It's called a pressed salad. It's kind of a cooking technique. Okay. Alrighty. So, and then basically that's all. So this is the soba noodle, right? So what I'm going to do is just arrange soba. It's already cooked. Usually boil between 6 to 8 minutes, like a pasta when you make pasta.
Do you rinse it off afterwards? Are you supposed to rinse off the starch afterwards when you make soba?
Yes. I mean, yes. Under the running water. Or,
Under running water, yeah.
yes. Thank you for pointing out. Yes.
So do you boil the water first and then put the noodles, or put the noodles and boil the water together?
I'm sorry?
When you make the noodles,
Mm-hmm.
do you boil the water first and then put the noodles in, or you boil the noodles and the water together?
Okay. So how do you basically cook the noodle? First you boil it. You boil the water and then put into the boiling water.
Okay.
And then 6 to 8 minutes. By the way, I'm going to add a little more because I add too much water here. That's why. So what you can do, for example, sodium issue, or the difference between sea salt and table salt, or this naturally brewed soy sauce versus Kikkoman mass-produced soy sauce, you can just do the tasting. You know, two different things each other, and you can clearly see the difference or taste the difference. This one tastes more like a sweet, a little sweet taste. It's like wine, you know, aged wine. While Kikkoman is just a pure sodium salt. So it's just almost disgusting. But this one is like an aroma and it's like a chocolate or tobacco, like a wine. Okay, so now I'm gonna squeeze out the excess water. So it's a little mess here. So this, I don't have, anybody wants to help to squeeze? I don't have a strong muscle, so anybody wants to do this? Maybe man, you want to do that? You? Okay, great. Great.
We should pick up a bundle and
Mm-hmm. Squeeze, and then this is the.
Oh, okay.
Oh, see? Much better. So you see the water comes out? Great. So this way you can make more digestible salad. It's still crunchy and also refreshing, but also more digestible and easier on your stomach. Great. If any other questions or comment? Great, thank you. And now you should use this, right?
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Okay, so now almost done. Thank you for waiting. And then so this soba, arrange just soba noodle, and then on top you arrange more vegetables. Right? Oops. Okay. And then pour the sauce dressing. By the way, I must warn you, usually I make everything very light flavored. So if you're used to like a very strong flavoring, you may find it a little bland, but as you chew, you can taste the different flavor or taste of each vegetable or each ingredient. So try to chew a lot, chew thoroughly, and then taste or find the difference. So this way, and then at the end, maybe just a little more crunchiness, roasted sunflower seed or other seeds or nuts. That would be good. And then more seaweed, because it's supposed to be a soba noodle and seaweed salad, right? So this is another seaweed called wakame seaweed. So I'm gonna add. I just soaked in the water and then squeeze out the excess water. So you can.
Cold water?
Mm-hmm. And then a little more. And also another seaweed called nori. You familiar with nori?
Yes.
If you go to sushi restaurant, you see the sushi roll, right? So this is the seaweed that's wrapped
Yeah.
with the sushi roll. Okay, so I'm gonna add this, a nice flavor, and that's it. Ta-da! So something like this. Great. Thank you. So anyway, I made 2 dishes, but everything is so simple, right? I didn't do anything particular thing, and then I was talking, so it takes a little more time. But if you don't talk and then just be quiet or shut up, you can make those 2 dishes within maybe 20 to 30 minutes without much hassle. Okay, so I hope you really implement or try at home. Okay, so, and then we're gonna try, right? Taste, yes. Okay.
What was some of the seaweeds that you were saying? Some of them, would you repeat that?
Want us to write the names down for you?
Yes, please. Okay.
Okay, great. So let's taste, and then when you have more questions, please feel free. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So just